Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Brian, and today I'm talking Love Island Australia Season 5, Episode 17. All right, couple big things in this episode. We have the Truth Bike. Truth Bike created a lot of drama today. We have the newcomer, Chloe, coming in, and she's catching the attention of a couple people. And we also have Kale actually finally returning to the villa because we ended last episode on Kale just being introduced. We didn't really get any aftermath of him being in the villa. So I'm gonna start there briefly because I feel like a lot of this episode stems from the Truth Bike. Kale comes back. Everyone's really surprised. Nakia kind of has like a look on her face. Nakia and Tyra eventually talk, and her quote is "Bold move, bestie." So she says that she's a little annoyed, but I mean, if it works out for them, she's not. She's okay with that. I mean, what else? This is all in confessional too. Like she did say to Tyra, like, "Hey, like I'm happy. Like I'm a little like it's a little weird that this is going on, but if it works out, it works out." Then we get our introduced to Chloe. So Chloe, 23, she's from Sydney. She grew up in London. She's an ex ballerina, and she worked. I think she's a physical trainer. And Trent, of course, is drooling. He's always drooling over somebody. Reed is interested as well, and she actually is gives Reed her number one dude status. So that I have my notes. I wrote, "Woof." I don't know how some of these guys keep getting the attention of these women when they're just so terrible. Truth Bike. Okay, the Truth Bike is I guess it's somewhat of a challenge. I didn't really get a text about it, I don't think. And you go on the bike, and apparently you have to tell the truth. So if what they're at, people, and then all the islanders will ask you a question. They ask you a question. You hit the bell if it's true, the horn if it's not true. A couple things. Lucinda's not really happy with some of Zach's answers. I don't think anything he said was that crazy. Like they were just like, "Hey, do you think George is hot or stuff like that?" And it's just like everybody on the show is good looking. She was annoyed with him, but I don't know. I thought that was a little like smoke right there. Kale gets asked if he thought about Tyra wise with Nakia, and he does say yes. So something to consider. I There was a little pettiness going on. It seemed like where like Nakia was basing a lot of her answers on pro Andy, which is I guess is fine. I wrote down she got grilled. She got asked a ton of questions. I felt like she was on the bike for like an eternity. Ree gets on the bike. I don't remember who asked it. I think it was Lucinda, and she asked Ree, "Do you use every bombshell that comes in here?" And he says that's not true, which is everyone's like that is bull. And I really enjoyed that. Really happy she asked that question because we need to people these girls need to see that, especially the newcomers like Chloe and Georgia, that these guys, and Tasia, because he's with Tasia technically right now, that he ain't it. He's definitely not it. um Somebody else asked somebody else also asked him like, how would you feel if Chloe took if you could recouple right now, and Chloe chose you, how would you feel about it? And he was like, I would like that. So Tasia in a confessional was like, I'm completely turned off by Reed, and I was like, thank God. But again, then Chloe's still into him. But these guys are not doing themselves any favors whatsoever. Georgia still has feelings for Trent. I don't get it. I still don't get it at all. I don't understand what she sees in this guy. He is as a toe. I don't understand what any girl likes about him at all. I think he's just a bum. He's a total utter bum. Um, and she's like talks to him. She's gonna give him she gives him the chance. Like she Nate moves down a slide. She is gonna go for Trent, and I hate that. I hate that so much. She goes and breaks. Georgia goes talks to Nate, breaks it off. He asks why, like what is it, and she's like, well, it's a gut thing, and he's more my type, and I'm just like, yuck. And I don't understand it. I don't understand how these guys, like the same dudes, just keep sticking around and getting chances because they're just not. I can't tell you one good thing about them. I can't. Nate's feeling really discouraged after this. He's like, this has happened to me a couple times now, and it is true. Like he's been with a couple girls, and they just kind of like after a little bit, like are not interested. And I don't know if it's more him, like the conversations we're not seeing, or they just keep kind of because maybe he's more like genuine and not as like loud and compared to like I don't think he had any runs with Zach, but like Trent and Reed, and it's just I'll have to see how it goes. The preview for tomorrow. Looks like two people are going to get dumped. Lucinda looks like she's crying, so I don't know if that's going to be Zach dumping or maybe one of her friends. And then it also looks like George is going to flip flop again to from Trent to Nate, and she's like, "I made a big mistake. I look like an idiot." There's a scene of Nate going like, "I think if you make your bed, you got to lay in it." So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. If he's just going to stiff arm her, but yeah, I think the season's really picked up. I'm really enjoying it. It's been a really good watch so far. If you have any comments, definitely let me know below. Especially like, how do you feel about Georgia going to? I guess in this episode, Georgia going back to or giving Trent a chance, and then it looks like she's going to go back to Nate. How do you feel about the truth bite? How do you feel about all these girls, these new girls coming in, giving Reed a chance? Reed's clearly playing the game. What do you guys think of Chloe? Anything about the show, and anything else, especially other shows that you'd like us to cover, or just anything in general? We're always here. I'm always reading the comments, always replying. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow about it'll be episode 18, but I think that's the only thing we'll have today. I think we're kind of on a little bit of a light schedule for the time being. That's not true at all. That is not true at all. We have a light schedule for on Mondays and Tuesdays, but we'll be back on Wednesdays for CBS Wednesdays, and Bachelor is back on Thursdays along with House of Villains. So we will have a ton of stuff near the end of the week, but I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 18. See you.